So just to let you know, this video was going to be about me debunking a load of people who think that they know Marx but totally don't, but then it basically transformed into me taking the piss out of this one guy. Enjoy! Marxism. A way of thinking. An economic system. A way by which to see the world. Or just a slur used by liberals to mean basically everything bad ever. Okay, so I've been learning quite a bit about Marxism over the past year, what with my political change to socialism and all that, but because of this I've been finding how much people simply misinterpret and much of the time outright lie about the teachings of Marx. And within that you have Dave from Computing Forever. Many found his stuff quite compelling, but if you're an anarchist or socialist of any persuasion, good God, I cannot take this guy seriously. Well, he's come up with a brand new philosophy, Marxist Sargonism. What does it mean? I don't know, beats me. It's a funny little word that Dunning-Krugerites like to come up with to show that they're the next Plato, or whatever. Now, I do just want to state one thing before we begin. Just one thing, yeah? I have respect for these gentlemen, and I completely agree with their views, but one thing, just one, I do disagree with them on this issue. Actually, that's complete bullshit. So here's my quick little assessment for your enjoyment purely.
The outcome of his new measures would ultimately result in a communist society.
Okay. State your case, Christy Brown. Truly, this is going to be some thrilling philosophy right here.
So Marxism, looks at the world and says, for example, the wealthy, the bourgeoisie, are simply oppressing the working class by dint of being wealthy.
No, he didn't say that. Marx actually never said that he hated people for being rich. In fact, he found that there were lots of difficulties in being rich. I mean, there are plenty of people earning lots of money, but they aren't capitalists, they're just wealthy. Capitalist. Not a capitalist. Capitalist, not a capitalist. What distinguishes these? These people hire them out to production companies. They get a lot of money, which is irksome, but they're not inherently oppressing anyone unless they hire people to earn more money for themselves. That is what people like Mark Zuckerberg and Will Shue are doing. They're hiring people out so they can make money for themselves. This is why all these delivery drivers are so angry. Now, there are different types of Marxists, but it's important to state that Marxism usually hates the system first, as opposed to them. But do be assured, as an anarchist, I won't snitch on you if you were to... Forgive me for stereotyping the Irish here, but am I the only one who sees a bit of Molyneux in this guy? Like, seriously, look, really? Yeah? Maybe? No?
These communist far-left parties, Jeremy Corbyn and his supporters...
Far left. Far left. Dude, this is the far left. This is not the far left. How many times am I going to have to do this, Dave? Now, you might be wondering why I'm not focusing on Sargon himself in this video. It's his philosophy and all that, according to Dave. Well, because to his credit, he has changed his mind.
But there is, and I made this mistake myself until some communist kindly decided to come and comment on a video I'd mentioned it in. But basically, the distinction is personal property is just the stuff you own, and you're apparently okay to own it. Private property, it's actually not like, the things you privately own. It's, frankly, the means of production.
Hooray! He's understood one thing about socialism. But still, I don't get why he's taking such a situation so seriously when Sargon still completely misses out what the hell Marx was talking about.
Ultimately, there is no real collective. Everything is just individuals. Hell, Marx himself doesn't think he was right. Just as Marx used to say, commenting on the French Marxists of the late 1870s, "All I know is that I'm not a Marxist." Well, he doesn't think he was right. I'm sure the author of that book knows better.
Yes, that great statement by Marx where he said, "I hereby recount all of my entire life's work." I mean, it's not like it means something simpler, like saying that Marxists who were practicing Marxism weren't really being like anything that Marx intended them to be. Because, he's Marx. He is Jesus. Literally how easy it is to figure this out. It's the first flipping link, for goodness sake. Anyway, back to Murphy McIrish.
This is his planned economy, whether he likes it or not. Alright, some people are going to get the job as the basketball player because they can shoot a hoop better than anybody else and they're 7 foot tall. Okay, but the 4 foot midget is going to struggle. Okay, should we hack the legs off the 7-foot basketball player?
Oh, yes, I remember the famous quote by Fred Engels. If somebody cannot score a hoop in basketball, the basketball goal must be lowered and the taller players have their legs formally chopped off. Truly an inspirational quote right there. Has anyone told you that equality in socialist terms means equality of power, not equality of everything?
And I've already made a video called Why Marxism Cannot Work.
Oh boy!
It states that those who contribute the most to society, work the hardest, and provide the most ingenuity are no different to those who contribute the least and hardly work at all.
Marx believed that work was a good thing. Do you know how enjoyable cleaning can be at times? It's really quite fun. This isn't. Nobody likes being taken the piss out of, Dave. And if you look at the brightest individuals, as Graeber says, how many rich inventors are there? They all know they're going to get ripped off, but they do it anyway. It's not simply the monetary incentive, which is the only way people are rewarded. We can be rewarded in other ways, like admiration, knowing you're doing a good thing for humanity, and above all, self-satisfaction. If the best people are rewarded in a capitalist society, then why is it that so many great people throughout the Western Capi nations have ended up impoverished? The father of cinematic special effects was a Frenchman who ended up penniless and working in a toy store, and only just managed to get a bit of recognition just before he died. Because of course, fancy shoe heels are far more important than a legacy of over 500 films. Yay for profits! Take this quote from famous Marxist, Leninist, Maoist George Lucas.
You're forced to make a particular kind of movie back when Russia was the Union of Soviet Social Republics. And they'd say, oh, but aren't you so glad that you're in America? I said, well, I know a lot of Russian filmmakers. They have a lot more freedom than I have. All they have to do is be careful about criticizing the government. Otherwise, they can do anything they want.
And so what do you have to do?
You have to adhere to a very narrow line of commercialism.
And besides, if we look at capitalism, there's a lot of people who really aren't contributing much to society, and, well, newsflash, they tend to get paid the most. These guys don't. Obviously, a 12-hour day isn't working hard enough.
Marx also believed that marriage, a fundamental supporting structure of civilization, was oppressive to women and little more than an economic arrangement.
Hey, did you know that Marx loved capitalism? No, I'm serious, he did. He actually quite liked the way that capitalism allowed the creation of massive machinery and industry. But does that mean that Marx wanted capitalism to stay? No! He wanted it to be replaced with something far better and, more importantly, equal and just. And the same can be said for something like marriage. Sure, you can make some vague argument in the past that marriage was good because we didn't have birth control, we needed good relationships between kingdoms and so forth, yay for feudalism and all that. But we don't need it anymore, replace it with something more just. Besides, I doubt working at home for free is necessarily a great thing to do, and I think we'll have many repercussions down the line once society becomes more expanded. I mean, didn't Marx say that marriage was to some extent shit because it was an instrument of the state and the middle class?
Modern third-wave feminism is nothing more than Marxism in a skirt. Among its ultimate goals was the destruction of the nuclear family by ousting the father from the household and marrying the mother to the state. Woo!
Yeah, no, we were supposed to be talking about Marxist Sargonism, weren't we? Yeah, I've really gone off track. Teal dear, we don't live on a desert island anymore.
Marx's belief that work is alienating because people don't see themselves in the objects that they create. And they should have a bigger stake and say in the direction of the company. Everybody should own a piece of the company. Right. Under communism, you get stuff, not because you earned it, but because you're breathing, and you feel a sense of entitlement.
As Milton Friedman said, a society that puts equality before freedom will get neither. A society that puts freedom before equality will get a high degree of both.
Citation? Like, seriously, it's a quote. It's a quote. I was expecting a little bit more of an explanation. Hey, Dave, by the way, I was wondering what your philosophy of life is.
But I don't blame the system.
So in summary, kids, it never stops being amusing to see a staunch capitalist supporter complain about the systemic nature of planned obsolescence.
And of course, we're all brainwashed as consumers to go out and want the new shiny thing.
But I don't blame the system for that.
But finally, I'm gonna pull out a bit of South Parking here by attacking the left as well. Ooh, look at me, I'm such an edgelord. Introducing the greatest Marxist contemporary of them all, Cenk Uygur.
Socialism is what we have today in this country. Please don't have your head explode. So what socialism means is the government does some things and the private industry does some things, right? So private industry does Coca-Cola, Nike, makes your shoes. Government does other things like your police department, your fire department, your military. So you like the military? What a socialist you are. Western Europe is all socialist. We're in essence socialist, and it has never led to communism. Does communism lead to Marxism? No, communism doesn't work at all. So unfortunately, and some of my super liberal audience will get mad at me, but this is the reality. Human nature, it does not work the way the communists want it to work, where you put in as much as you want and then take out as much as you want.
But I don't blame the system. Marxism is 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 Marxism is.
Oh dear. Oh god, that's not good.